Now, the countdown to Christmas is officially on, and as we crawl through the last few work weeks of the year, there's one last hurdle to get through before the holidays. So if you have RSVP'd yes to your work Christmas party, here are some tips to make sure you still have a job come the new year.
Oh, wow.
From what to wear to how much to drink and who to dance with.
Any chance of a dance with the boss?
Navigating that fine line between festive and foolish at your work Christmas bash can be a minefield.
In this day and age, HR will always be watching, okay? They'll be taking notes. There's no doubt about that.
So let's start with the do's. Alternating your wines with waters, making sure you snag some roaming canapes, sticking to the dress code and keeping your drink number in check.
The decisions you make will have consequences that will haunt you for the rest of your professional life.
When it comes to drinking at Christmas parties, I think you've got to use your boss as a gauge. It doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman, they're the gauge, okay? If they're drunk, you can get drunk.
Now for the don'ts, and there are many. From trauma dumping on your colleagues to unruly social media posts, and the ultimate no-no, getting it on with your office crush.
Why don't you come upstairs in about 10 seconds?
Don't hook up with your workplace boss or crush at work. You know, Santa doesn't get with the elves, you know what I mean?
And while you probably shouldn't get blind drunk and dance on a table, it's really important to bring the good vibes.
Now, Pricey, are you going to be nice to everyone at the Christmas party?
I'm nice all the time, to everybody.
Well, even that DJ?
Look, if that bloke, that DJ as you call him, is not going to play the bangers I like, then DJ Price is Right takes over every time.
Okay, can't argue with that.
But the DJ Price is Right era could be behind us. Studies revealing Gen Z much prefer booze-free festivities, and only 1 in 4 wants alcohol to be provided at work events. In fact, in the UK, there's been a massive uptick in dry Christmas parties this year, with more than a fifth set to be alcohol-free.
I hate to say it, but the boomers know how to party because they've been at Christmas parties in the 80s, possibly the 70s, into the 90s. They're the ones that'll start the dancing and start the drinking. I would look to your elders.
So is Gen Z the Grinch who stole boozy Christmas?
Well, this is consistent with everything Steve Price has told me, so let's put it to millennial comedian Michelle Brasier. Michelle, Gen Z changing the way we do Chrissy parties?
Well, listen, I mean, speaking as a young person, I'm young, I'm in my late 20s and I'm 32, and as a 33-year-old, I don't think that they're ruining this. I think that they are partying. I think they just don't want to party with us. I just messaged one of my managers and was like, hey, babe, you're Gen Z, like, what is the thing about you not going out? And she was like, babe, sometimes I go to raves on weeknights. Don't get me fired. I was like, what? You're never telling me about this cool stuff. But they have to keep it secret because we're disgusting and old.
Do you go to raves, Pricey?
You're kidding, aren't you? Now, Michelle, truth time. What's your track record at these Christmas do's? Any horror stories for me?
I do have a horror story, but it's not necessarily my fault. I was in my natural habitat at my best friend's Christmas party as a +1, 3 margaritas deep, singing Mariah Carey, as is, my natural state. And I did have a fall. I did have a slip and a fall, and the bouncer kicked me out for being too drunk. But then my best friend tried to prove that I wasn't drunk and it was just a slippery floor, and he tried to reenact it. But his theatrical prowess was not that strong, and he did slip and he did fall and actually break his foot. So, maybe being sober is a good thing. Maybe it's good.
Sounds to me like you were full down drunk. But anyway, as the chief baby boomer, what generation do you think does Christmas parties? But I think boomers do it better than everybody.
Oh,
You've seen some things.
Of course you do, Pricey. I don't know about you as a DJ. I don't know how much Cotton Eye Joe I want at my Christmas party. I think Gen X, because they're the last party generation that didn't have phones taking photos of all the debauchery.
Now, you've worked alongside some Gen Zs. You were just talking about it before. What do you find is the biggest difference between them and millennials like yourself, and me as well, Michelle?
Well, having walked amongst them, studied them in the wild, I think Gen Z is just like millennials, but they're not as they won't put up with things. They're not patient. They didn't have to wait for things to load on the internet, and they won't go out with no jacket. They want to be comfortable, and I actually really respect that. They're in sneakers. They don't wear heels. I think it's sexy and cool. And as a Gen Z, I think we're doing a good job.
Also, apparently, I found this out today. Gen Z are going to frozen yogurt shops instead of nightclubs on Saturday nights. They're hanging out Honestly, what is wrong with this generation?
I think it's gorgeous. I think it's really nice. I drove past one of those frozen yogurt shops, and it had a DJ in it. I was like, I want to actually go in and have a little boogie, to be completely honest. Also, we don't know what's in the yogurt. Let's not pretend we know what's going on.
Exactly.
You two have been very quiet here. What about some horror stories from you, Sarah? You'd have a Bible of them.
Yeah, I'll tell you at the Christmas party, Steve.
Michelle, thanks for your time.
Thank you so much.